Alright. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Let's turn. Haha! Hello! Let me also fuss with the dimensions of the camera. That should do. Okay. Oh, my hair's a little. Okay. So that is a little bright, so I'm gonna turn it down. Alright, I think I'm all set, and we're gonna... So this is, in fact, our 5th run through, so I'm sorry I wasn't around. I know I had kind of said I was going to be around last week, but then ended up not being because I'd forgotten it was Halloween, and also the day before I went on a week-long vacation. But I am back now, and we will do Chapter 1 this week, and Chapter 2, or the most of Chapter 1 this week, the rest of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 next week, and then we'll finally get into brand new content. Alright. So let's get to it. Also, let me know if there's noise in the background because I had to open a door because it's so warm today. And it is a door to the outside porch, so... oh, yes, last time was the prologue, which is always the same. This is also always the same. So Chapter 1, so you're not gonna... So there's not gonna be new stuff, so Tapao, you did not miss anything besides possibly different commentary from me, but even then, I've gone back and looked at some of my older videos, and I've definitely made the same comments on some of these chapters I've replayed. If Chapter 1 were not so long, I might consider trying to do Chapter 1 and 2 at this all in this stream, but I don't think I can stream for that long, so... although I do have plans of maybe at some point in the next month or two doing a, like, extra long charity stream, and I've also been thinking about for my birthday doing, like, an extra long kind of, like, follow/subathon stream, but those are tentative, distant, early plans. Alright, so... let's do the... Chapter 1, The Marchen. So the choice, so Tapao, the choice that you don't choose a route until Chapter 2, but Chapter 2 has a couple of things that are choices that can differentiate between runs. Specifically towards the end of Chapter 2, you start being like, okay, who do I want to have help me at the Marchen? And generally you either pick the romance route you're on, or if you're doing Fritz's route, you choose no one. So that's the biggest difference in Chapter 2. Chapter 1 doesn't really have a difference. There is, like, one choice you can make that I recall, which is, like, which direction she runs after getting accosted. And one direction is good for Karma's route, and the other direction is good for Waltz's route, so I will definitely be doing that direction. Hello, Ice Starmie! Oh my gosh, I was saying something, but I can't... Well, I finished what I was saying to Tapao, but I feel like there was something I was going to comment on, but... Yes, Tapao, one of the directions. I've done both directions before, I'm pretty sure. Alright. When I open my eyes, I am still on the streets. I must have fallen asleep. Lucette, thinking to herself. But the nightmare continues. I am cold in my rags. I hold myself for warmth, willing some of the cold away, but fail. My feet are numb and in pain, caked in a dirt that I have gathered from walking barefoot around town. Noblewoman A. Well, there's a frightful sight. Noblewoman B. Beggar probably thought she could try her luck with the nobility that live around here. Noblewoman A. Ah, just look how ragged she looks. Lucette. Silence. Noblewoman A. Shocked. What are you looking at? Lucette. At two women that lack the basic manners of a noble upbringing. Noblewoman B. Silence, girl! Do you know who you're talking to? Lucette. No, and I don't care. Noblewoman B, shocked. What nerve! Noblewoman A, let's just go. There's no reason to stoop to a commoner's level. Lucette, thinking to herself. I will remember you, and once I break this curse, I will make you regret your words. I become acutely aware of the fact that I have not eaten anything for almost a day. Oh, hello, Johnny One Take. Yes, also I started confirming which direction is which, and also since I have already paused to say things, I am going to also pause to turn my light on, because, daylight savings has ended, and darkness occurs way too early now. Oh yes, and Tapao, right, I was talking about possibly at some point doing a longer stream. Not for today, for Cinderella Phenomenon, but just at some point I'm thinking I might find a weekend day that I have some time and do like a 6-hour stream or something. Just as a like, I was thinking of doing 1 or 2 of those possibly, one as a charity stream, one as a sort of follower/sub boost. Anyway, let me know if you hear loud background noises, because, I think I already said this, but I have a door to the outside open because my office is horribly overheating because it is unseasonably warm today. Alright. So, back to game. I have been sitting here, thinking on the new mess that is my life. Lucette, thinking to herself. But moping around will not break my curse. Crying will not help either. I should find that witch first, but how? I have no idea where she is. Out loud. Delora. Thinking to herself. I swear I will make you regret doing this to me. When I find you, Silence. Out loud. I will find food first. Thinking to herself. Is this all the king thinks I am worth? Man. Leave, girl. A dirty peasant like you has no place in this restaurant. Lucette. But why? I can pay. Man. Find another place. You're scaring away my customers. Lucette. Am I not a customer? Man. Shoot, there's nothing for you here. Lucette, thinking to herself. He just swatted me away like a fly! The nerve! Sensing that this will get me nowhere, I ball my hands into fists and walk away. I get the same treatment at the next 3 restaurants I try. I am treated as something less than dirt, like my money has no real value. Lucette. I am the crown princess. They have no right to turn me away like this. I have been eating stale bread. Anything to keep the hunger at bay. The bread barely helps. Lucette. Silence. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a small bakery. There are croissants on display that make my mouth water. Slowly, I begin to make my way over there. Lucette. Ow! My feet ache with every step. They look and feel even worse than before. Lucette, thinking to herself. If only I had enough coins for a pair of shoes. But food is more important. If the rags that I am wearing and the pouch of money are all that I have, then I need to prioritize. Lucette, thinking to herself. And I will die before I beg. Out loud. 2 croissants. Shop owner. You'll need to pay, girl. There are no free handouts here. I take a coin from my pouch and hand it to her. Lucette. This should be more than enough. The shop owner stares at the coin before reluctantly taking it. She hands me 2 croissants in a paper bag. Shop owner. I will not ask where you got those coins. Lucette. Silence. Are you implying that I stole them? Shop owner. How else would a beggar like you get that amount of coin? Now be off with you, child. I won't have you scaring away any other customers. Without another word, I turn and start to walk away from the woman. Thinking to herself, so, this is the goodness of the people of Angiel. I take a bite out of one of the croissants, cringing a little at the dryness. Man A. Hey girl! Lucette, thinking to herself. What now? Man B. We saw you at that shop. Want to share how you got your coins there? Lucette. Silence. Excuse me. Shocked. Man A. Look at her, brushing us off like she's royalty or something. Lucette. Let me go! Man B. You ain't no better than us. Now be a good girl and hand over that pouch. The man on my left grabs at my pouch and attempts to yank it away from me. Lucette, thinking to herself, I will not let these brutes take anything from me. I elbow the man in the stomach, then aim a kick at the other man's shin. I have an opening and I take it. Man A. What? I pull myself free and begin to run as fast as I can. Man B. Hey! Lucette, thinking to herself, where do I go? I am not familiar with the streets at all. It's highly likely I'm just going to hit a dead end. And we know for a fact that right is for Waltz, and we're doing Waltz's route, so this one's easy peasy. This choice, I mean. Boy. Hey, this way! Lucette. You're... Waltz. No time to talk, princess! Lucette. How do you know who I am? Man A. There's another one! Stop running, you two! Lucette. Shocked. Waltz. Come on! The boy grabs my wrist and pulls me after him. He takes off with a sudden burst of speed, and then I am running even faster than I just was. I am not entirely convinced following him is a good idea, but at least the boy seems to have a better sense of direction than me. Lucette. Oh! Our running causes rocks in the pathway to come loose, and before I notice them in my path, I step down hard on them. A sharp pain shoots up into my foot, and I collapse to the ground. Lucette. It hurts! Waltz. Princess! I try to stand, but the pain in my feet is unbearable. I fall back down into the dirt with a gasp. Lucette. I can't... Man A. We've got you now. Man B. Just hand over your coins and neither of you will get hurt. Waltz. I won't let you touch her. Man B. Ha! Says the little boy. Man. Well, well, well. What is this ghastly sight before me? Two adults threatening a child and a lady. How very ungentlemanly. Man A. What are the likes of you even doing around this neighborhood? You asking to get fleeced? Man. Asking? Perhaps I am in the mood for a scuffle. The nobleman brandishes his sword, his expression confident, maybe even cocky. Man. Show me what you've got, sirs. And please, don't bore me. Lucette, thinking to herself. Who are these people? Man B. I ain't dealing with this for the money. He's got a sword. Man A. What? Come back here, you coward! The two of us can take him. Man. I think your friend has the right idea. I'm not the type to show mercy. Man A. Shocked. This is way too much trouble for a little gold. Waltz. You're late. Man. Sorry, kid. You know how hard it is for me to be invisible around here. Waltz. Wait, what did you just call me? Man. At ease, small one. Lucette, thinking to herself. These two know each other? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I feel ill. My head is pounding, and my feet feel simultaneously like they are frozen and on fire. My stomach rumbles, the hunger coming back with a vengeance. My body feels light. Waltz. Hey, princess! Princess! Man. Calm down. Parfait will be able to help her. But for now, we need to move before anyone else sees us. Waltz. Yeah. Don't worry, you're safe now. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. Everything is fading. A dream? Oh dear. Content warning both for injured bird and animal unhappiness and emotionally abusive mother. Which, if anyone's watched Karma's Route, they know darn well how bad... not Karma, sorry, Fritz's Route. They know darn well just how bad her mother can be. Mother. What is that in your hands, Lucette? Young Lucette. It was hurt. I just wanted to help it, but it died. It's all my fault. Mother. It is not your fault, my love. It died because it was weak. Young Lucette. But... Mother. This is the world, Lucette. Only the strong survive. The weak get cast aside to die. You are not weak. You are strong, my crown princess, and you do not cry. Now wipe your tears. I don't want to see you cry again. Do you understand? Young Lucette. Yes. Mother. Now get rid of that thing and wash your hands. Young Lucette. Silence. Mother. Did you not hear me, child? Young Lucette. Yes, Mother. So yes, I've said this before every time that memory comes up, but crying is okay. Crying is okay. And I think crying is fine at any age, it's just an expression of emotion, but it's especially bad and downright emotionally abusive to tell a child they are not allowed to cry. I don't think adults need to be embarrassed about crying either. I think it's a problem that society tries to tell us that they should, but I also think it's especially bad when you are criticizing children for crying when they're sad. Come on. Lucette. Silence. Girl. Oh, you're awake! Lucette. Where am I? Girl. Ah, well, Lucette. This isn't my room. Shocked. My hand flies to my chest, where the little glass slipper hangs from my neck. Lucette, thinking to herself. Still here. Girl. Are you okay, miss? Lucette, thinking to herself. This girl is the maid that tore Delora's dress. The one I fired for her clumsiness. Girl. Miss? Lucette, thinking to herself. To think that I would meet her again here, like this. Silence. Girl. Lucette. Leave me alone. Girl. Silence. Lucette. Silence. Girl. Right, of course. Here's some salve I made for you. It'll help with the pain. Lucette. Now what? Delora. Haven't thought at all, have you, Ice Princess? Lucette. You! Suddenly, there she is. Delora stands before me with a snide smile, looking happy with herself. Lucette, thinking to herself. She is the cause of everything I have been through. All the pain, heartache, and hunger. It is her fault. I try to stand, thinking to give the witch a piece of my mind, but as soon as my feet touch the floor, pain shoots up my legs. I end up falling back to the bed. Lucette. Ow! Delora. You should be more grateful to the girl you just scared away. She's been taking care of you for the past 2 days. Lucette. 2 days? Thinking to herself. I've been passed out for 2 days? I am suddenly vibrating with anger. Lucette, out loud. Remove the curse. Now. Delora. Ha! Do you think you can just command me to remove the curse in your best princess voice? Lucette. What do you want? Gold? Delora. What I want is worth more than all the gold you could summon in Angel, princess. Besides, haven't you read your fairy tales? The caster cannot take a curse back. You need to focus on breaking the curse yourself if you want your life back. Lucette. Mother burned the books before I could read more than one or two of them. Lucette, thinking to herself. I do not think either involved curses, just genies and trading away your voice for legs. Lady. Ah, it's good you're awake, princess. Delora. Parfait, should you really be up and about? Parfait. Don't fuss, I'm feeling much better. Lucette. Are you a witch as well? Parfait. Oh no, my name is Parfait, and I am a fairy. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. A witch and a fairy in one room? Being friendly with one another? Impossible. Delora. Oh, look at her face! You weren't expecting that at all, were you, princess? Lucette. What is going on? Parfait. I'm sure you have many questions, princess. Lucette. How do you know I am the princess? Delora. Don't be silly, she's a fairy. Of course she knows. Parfait. I promise we'll do our best to answer your questions. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. I don't even know where to start. Parfait. What would you like to know? Alright, since this is the 5th run, I'm actually not going to ask all of these questions, but I will run through them on the off chance somebody has, for some reason, decided this version of Chapter 1 is where they're going to start watching the story. Why was I cursed? I think they talk about her being the Ice Princess and wanting to thaw her out or whatever. How do I break the curse? She's told she needs to do 3 good deeds. Maybe I should ask that one just to make sure she knows that. What happens if I don't break the curse? They're like, I think you know that. Which I keep being like, does she? Do I? I mean, I think it just means that no one ever remembers her again. Why are you two working together? They talk about Delora being a good witch. So yeah, I'll do how do I break the curse because I feel like that is important information Lucette should know. So if I skip all the questions, that's a little much, so. How do I break the curse? Lucette asks. Delora. The necklace you've got is one of Cinderella's glass slippers. To break the curse, you must get the 2nd slipper. Complete the pair. Lucette. And how do I do that? Parfait. By doing 3 good deeds. Lucette. What? Delora. It's a very easy thing to do. At least, for someone who knows how to be good. Lucette, thinking to herself. 3 good deeds? What does that even mean? I wouldn't even know where to start. Parfait. Take heart, princess. Goodness is innate in everyone. Parfait, I would also like to believe that. I really would. Delora. Are you sure that's the case with this one? Parfait. Delora, you are not helping. Delora. I'm a witch, and I think I have more goodness in my big toe than she has in her entire body. And I mean, I guess this is also... Oh, okay, Ice Starmie, fair enough. They also talk about the need to keep the balance between the negativity of the Tenebrarum and the positivity of the Lucis. I assume in one of the questions. So yeah, no, that's an important reminder as well. I really think Delora's just doing kind of a bad cop thing here. Like, you know, there's not really a reason to, but like, you know, the classic bad cop, good cop thing, which by the way is terrible in real life, and like, oh gosh, I just have a lot of opinions about interrogation methods and how bad they are. But I think maybe like Delora is intentionally being harsher than she actually feels. For whatever, you know, for a variety of reasons. I still think maybe one of those reasons is to try and emotionally distance herself after what we found out in Fritz's route. Anyway, but that doesn't really change the fact that Delora is being unnecessarily harsh. Parfait. Now you're just being mean. Lucette. Silence. Parfait. For every good deed you accomplish, you will get a piece of the glass slipper. When you've gotten all 3, you'll complete the pair and the curse will break. Simple. Delora. I suggest you start by polishing that attitude of yours. Alright. Right, and we know the... Oh, right. And Ice Stormy points out, we know the reason why Delora didn't really explain what happens if she doesn't break the curse, because she didn't want to explain about Lusette's 18th birthday. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, Fritz's root is the only root where that deeply blows up in their face, but like, I never like the fact that they keep so much from her for so long. And I feel like they deserve to have it blow up in their face. A little bit. But it does end up being bad for Lucette, so there is that. Alright, I'm gonna skip the rest of the questions. As mentioned, I think we've done a fairly good overview. Lucette, thinking to herself, 3 good deeds and I get my life back. Easier said than done. Out loud. You said Cinderella, didn't you? Didn't she just go to a ball and find a prince? What does doing good have to do with that? Delora. Going to a ball, finding a prince, it's all so old-fashioned. No fun in that. Oh, okay. Parfait. Cinderella is a girl with a pure heart. See, I'm fine with that, right? Cinderella's a girl with a pure heart, right? That's why all the animals loved her, whatever. But her Parfait's continuation, she's always willing to help others, even when they are cruel to her. And I'm like, is it that she's willing to help them, or is it that she's being horribly abused and she doesn't really have the option to say no? And it's like, the fact that Parfait thinks those are the same thing is upsetting. Lucette. Silence. Parfait. Anyway, I have brought some clothes for you. I'll leave them on the table. I'll be waiting outside. There are some people I'd like you to meet. Lucette. Silence. Out loud. I cannot believe this. I look down at my neatly bandaged feet. I have to admit that while sore, they are nowhere near as painful as they had been 2 days before. Girl. Memory of Annis here. Here's some salve I made for you. It'll help with the pain. Lucette. To herself, out loud. Why would she even care? I was the reason she lost her job at the palace. Oh, she probably doesn't remember me as the princess. But still, she has no reason to do such things for me. I ignore the salve for the time being and gingerly stand up, testing my feet for pain. The injury is definitely healing. I slowly walk over to the table and change into the clothes that have been left there. The dress is nowhere near as luxurious as the ones that I wear in the palace, but it is far improved from my rags. Lucette. All my life, I've never had to lift a finger. And now... Thinking to herself. I will not let them see how much they have rattled me. I refuse to break. Out loud. Just watch me. I will free myself from this curse. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. What is this place? There are several people in the room chatting amiably with each other. I noticed the girl that had left me the salve by the counter, serving drinks. But as soon as the people in the room notice me, the room falls into immediate silence. Lucette. Silence. Woman A. Well, look at what we have here. The Ice Princess herself. Lucette, thinking to herself. Huh? They know who I am? Woman B. I didn't think it was true. Man. Cursed for her cold-heartedness. Woman B. As to be expected. Lucette. You remember who I am, and yet you still treat me like this. Woman A. Well, you're not really a princess anymore, are you? You're one of us now, girl. Lucette. Silence. Parfait. Everyone, please. You shouldn't be treating a newcomer like this. Princess, let me apologize. They mean no offense. Yes, they do, Parfait! Yes, they do. They mean full offense. Don't apologize for them, and then lie on their behalf. Oh, that's good to know, Ice Starmie. It's really annoying that they keep so many secrets from Lucette, but the good news is that in Waltz's route being the final route, Waltz's route is the route in which they are more open and honest with Lucette. I like the sound of that. Right. Waltz being the final route means there's no need to keep some secrets for the next routes, because this is the end of the road. Or of the story, rather. Parfait. Right, so Parfait apologizes on their behalf and boldly and incorrectly claims that they mean no offense. I cannot believe that. Not when the people Parfait is referring to simply smirk and shrug as I meet their gazes. Lucette. Yeah, exactly, Ice Starmie. Parfait knows very well that these people mean offense. Like, it's good she calls them out and is like, excuse you guys, this is not how you should treat a newcomer. And then you can apologize to Lucette, but don't sit there and lie to her. Like, it would be fine if Parfait, like, you know, called them out for treating Lucette poorly. And then said, I'm sorry for them, Lucette. But just the fact that she added they mean no offense just makes me so mad. Lucette. What is this place? Parfait. Welcome to the Marchen Tavern, a home for those with the fairy tale curse. Delora. You make it sound like some kind of holiday house. Parfait. Don't ruin my moment, Delora. Lucette, thinking to herself. Marchen. Tavern? Or I guess that would have been like more like Marchen Tavern? Parfait. The Marchen was built 3 years ago when the number of cursed in Angiel continued to rise. The goal is to gather those affected so that they might help each other break their curse. Of course, I am also here to provide help as necessary. Only the cursed and those allied with our cause can stay here. Parfait. The evil and... No wait, that's still Parfait. I switched as though it was Delora speaking. Parfait. The evil and the wicked can never find this place. Lucette. Thinking to herself. Most of the people here are cursed? Out loud. How come these people remember who I am? Parfait. The cursed are not affected by the conditions of someone else's curse. Your condition is simple. Everyone has forgotten you are the crown princess. But because these people here are cursed, they still remember your title. Delora. It goes without saying that fairies and witches are also not affected. Parfait. Come, princess, let me introduce you to the few boarders we have at the Marchen. Parfait beckons the serving girl over. This is Anis. She helps out at the Marchen and does most of the cooking. Delora. I'm sure you understand why she's working here now. Lucette. Silence. Delora. I believe she deserves an apology. Anis. Miss Delora? What are you talking about? Delora. Don't you worry your sweet little head over it. You don't remember what this ice princess did to you. Anis. Huh? Lucette. I have nothing to apologize for. Thinking to herself. Clumsiness does not befit a palace maid. I only did what was necessary. And, like, it's true. I do not think that Lucette's response to Anis ripping a doll's dress was that disproportionate. Like, she is right that, like, clumsiness is not a great quality in someone hired to be a maid. But, like, it's basically... But, you know, it's funny because, like, Anis really wasn't well-suited to being a maid, is the feeling I get off of this. Like, I think she would have been much better as, like... I mean, clearly her call is medicine, but... that, for some reason, does not seem to be an option open to her. Anis. Well, it's nice to meet you, Princess. I'm Anis Willow. I hope we get along. Lucette. Silence. Anis. Silence. Lucette. Silence. Anis. Delora. Really? This is how you're going to start doing good? Lucette. I don't believe I asked for your opinion. Parfait. Please, you two, no fighting. Lucette. Silence. I hold my tongue as Parfait leads me to two people whose faces are incredibly familiar. They are faces I have seen in the palace before. Parfait. This is... Lucette. Jurian Valent and Garland Belrot. That's funny, because it's like, I know these characters' names. That was just a reading and parsing error. Alright, so Lucette says, Jurian Valiant and Garland Belrot. I do appreciate that they're both back alive. We're back around to the beginning of a new route. Maybe they won't die this time. Or by maybe, I mean hopefully. It was very sad last route. Anyway. Jurian. Shocked. How did you know? Lucette. Both of you were in the Order of Caldera. Jurian. Silence. Garland. That's right. Lucette, thinking to herself. They were two of Sir Alcaster's best knights. It was a big surprise when they both left a year ago. I only found out recently that it was because they acted against Sir Alcaster's orders. They were stripped of their titles and dishonorably discharged from service. Out loud. What are you two doing here? Garland. We help the fairies. Sorry. Parfait. They and Annis are exceptions, and are allowed in this tavern without the curse. Jurian and Garland lend us their strength to help protect the March-End. Lucette. Protect? Delora. From the witches. They'd do anything to make sure their curses remain unbroken. Lucette. And what about you? Delora. I am an exception. Also, I'm good. You keep forgetting the good part. Parfait. Remember, not all witches are evil. Delora. Your curse is a test. Lucette. A test? Delora. Originally, the wicked were cursed so they could learn to change. Their curses were meant to teach them a lesson. I'm hoping your curse will teach you a lesson too, Ice Princess. I really am only trying to help you. Lucette. I don't need you to show me how to change. I just want my life back. Delora. Well, to do that, you'll have to break your curse. Lucette. Silence. Parfait. Try and make some friends, Princess. They might be able to help you break your curse. Delora. Oh, I'd love to hang around and watch the princess try to be friendly. Parfait. We have work to do, Delora. Delora. Fine. Try not to make any more enemies, Princess. The instant Parfait and Delora leave the room, the temperature drops several degrees. Now that I am alone, I feel the cold stares return. Disgust. Contempt. As if I am the reason they are cursed and have taken refuge in the March-End in the first place. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. Make friends? All I've ever had are my dolls. I've never needed friends. I will break this curse on my own. Out loud. I was told it was rude to stare. One man suddenly stands up, the anger apparent on his face. His hands clench and unclench into fists as he glares at me pointedly. Jurian and Garland place themselves in front of me, shielding me from the man. Jurian. You know the rules. What happened in the past stays in the past. Garland. And no one is allowed to harm anyone else in the March-End. If you cannot comply, you are no longer welcome here. Man. No matter. The Ice Princess will get what's coming to her. He throws one last glare my way before sitting down again. Jurian. Break the rules and you'll get what's coming to you. That goes for everyone here. Jurian's tone is cold and firm. There is no doubt she means what she says. Lucette thinking to herself. So, these are the great knights of the Order of Caldera. The march end begins to settle down, and everyone eventually goes back to their conversations and meals. I walk towards an empty table, realizing that I am being deliberately ignored. I become immersed in my thoughts as I sit down. One thought, however, comes to me immediately. Lucette, thinking to herself, they hate me. They hate me somehow, when I've only ever left the palace twice in my life. How did this happen? The only people who treated me with any respect were Annis, Durian, and Garland. Is it because they cannot remember who I am? Maybe being in the Marchen is not such a good idea. I doubt anyone here wants to help me break my curse. They'd probably rather see me suffer under its weight. 3 good deeds? How am I supposed to complete 3 when I do not even know if I can accomplish 1? Beautiful lady, may I join you? I look up and stare in shock at the beautiful lady from the toy shop. Her beauty still manages to take my breath away. Lucette, thinking to herself, what is she doing here? Out loud, you were in the toy shop. Beautiful lady, ah yes, I was there picking up some items for a friend. I am humbled you still remember me. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Miss Karma. Lucette. Your name is Karma? Karma. A suitable name for someone as beautiful as me, no? Lucette. Silence. Waltz. Karma, your narcissism is going to scare the princess away. Lucette. Oh, you are that magician boy. Waltz. Boy? Karma. Oh, how appropriate. Boy? Waltz. Call me that one more time and I'll ruin that pretty face of yours. Karma. Shocked. You would hit a lady? How savage! Waltz. Silence. Lucette. Silence. Waltz. Anyway, I'm Waltz Cresswell. I have the Neverland curse. What about you, princess? What's your fairy tale curse? Lucette. Silence. Does everyone share what their curse is? Waltz. We talk about it freely in the Marchen. The whole point is helping each other break our curses, after all. Hard to do that if we keep our fairy tales quiet. He pauses, then narrows his eyes slightly. Well, some people keep their fairy tales a secret. He eyes Karma briefly, cocking an eyebrow. The smile never leaves Karma's face. Lucette. Has anyone managed to break their curse? Waltz. I've been told that a few have. Lucette. A few? That's not very reassuring. Waltz. Well, at least the curses can be broken. Lucette. I cannot particularly say that reassures me either. Karma. What ails you, darling? Is it your curse? You can talk to us about it. Tell us what it is. Lucette. Silence. Cinderella. Karma. Oh goodness, Cinderella. Waltz. That explains the nature of your curse, only it's been reversed, hasn't it? Karma. Riches to rags. Lucette. That's one way of putting it. Waltz. Karma, you're not helping. You really are better off ignoring him, princess. He mostly speaks nonsense. Lucette. Silence. He? Karma. Silence. Waltz. Silence. Parfait. Princess? Parfait's voice takes me by surprise. I hadn't even noticed her entering the room again. Parfait. May I speak with you? I'd like you to meet someone, though I'm sure you already know him quite well. Rod. Silence. Lucette. Rod? Rod. So, you really are cursed. Parfait. I was the one that gave Sebi to Rod, so he still had some way to voice his opinions. Lucette. Sebi? Parfait. Short for Sebastian. Cute, isn't it? Sebi. It's nice to meet you, princess! Sebi's voice changes when it greets me. The tone it uses is lower whenever it speaks for Rod. Perhaps that is what Rod's voice actually sounds like? Lucette, thinking to herself. Wait, if he remembers me, does that mean... Rod. The mermaid's curse. Lucette. What? Rod. That is my curse. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. Rod has been mute all this time because he is cursed? Out loud. Does everyone else know? Rod. Obviously. They are my family. Lucette. Even the king? Rod. He knows as well. Lucette. So, am I the only one you never told? Rod. I didn't think you'd particularly care either way. Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. He is not wrong. Yet I cannot believe I did not know. I was left out once again. Out loud. What are you doing here? Parfait. I have been trying to help Rod with his curse. That is why he comes to the March End from time to time. Rod. But I don't even want... Silence. Anyway, I only came here today to confirm that you were truly cursed. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. It was a big surprise when I woke up one day and you weren't in the palace. And an even bigger surprise when I found out no one remembered you. Lucette, thinking to herself. It's been days since I was cursed. I wonder... Out loud. How are things in the palace? Rod. Livelier. Happier. Lucette. Happier? Rod. I've never seen my family happier than they are now. I'd say it's a good thing you aren't a princess anymore. Lucette, shocked, thinking to herself. I'd always thought Rod didn't really care about me regardless, but this is the truth? Lucette. So, I have to be cursed for you to open up about how you truly feel? Rod. The only reason I didn't say anything earlier was because Emmeline didn't want me to. I'm happier too, now that you're gone. I don't have to pretend to like you anymore. Lucette. Silence. Rod. I'm gonna return to the palace now. Lucette. Silence. I'm gone, and they're all happier. Parfait. Your very existence has been erased in the palace. They've never known you. That doesn't mean they're happy without you. Lucette, thinking to herself. Even the king. What did I expect? Parfait. Silence. Lucette. Why did you bring me here? The people in the March End, they... Parfait. I shouldn't have left you alone in there. I'm sorry. Lucette. You knew how they felt about me. Parfait. Silence. Lucette. What have I ever done to them? Parfait. Yeah, I know, Ice Stormy. I actually totally forgot that the correct choice there. But there's not really... I don't want to replay the entire thing just to do that, and I'm on Waltz's route, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but... No, I felt really silly when I answered with the non-hesitation and was like, oh, right, that was not the correct one. It's kind of a shame because I had actually meant to do this as the correct answers for everything, but at the same time, I feel like it just feels very unnecessary to, like, go replay the entire chapter. If there was, like, an autosave feature where I could just go back to the last choice, I would, but I didn't think to save, so... Right, Ice Stormy, you think the hesitation was the right choice because it shows Lucette, it's more obvious that Lucette was hurt, whereas in this choice she just sounds angry. And I totally agree, I just, like I said, I just kind of, it's been a bit and I forgot, so... Parfait. Now, isn't the right time to explain. I don't totally see why not, but okay, Parfait. Lucette. When will it ever be the right time? Parfait. So many things have already happened to you. I need you to be patient, Lucette. Lucette. Silence. Delora. Has the prince already left? Parfait. Yes. Yes, he has. Princess, we'll talk about this later. For now, you must focus on breaking your curse. Yeah, okay. Starmie, I also do appreciate you confirming. I don't need to redo it since that is a Rod choice and doesn't actually affect Waltz's route. Like, I didn't think so, but it is kind of nice to have that confirmed for sure. Lucette. Silence. And, like, she doesn't have to be a perfect match for Rod in Waltz's route. Delora. Did I miss something? Parfait. No. Delora. Silence. Right. Lucette thinking to herself. Maybe the fairy is right. I don't think I am ready to find out how I made so many people hate me. Although, yeah, I mean, I suppose that's fair. Like, it would be a lot to throw on Lucette all at once, but I still think that they should have given her a couple days to settle in and then sat down and talked with her about it. Like, in most of the routes, they wait, like, implied months before they actually tell her. Delora. Well, Parfait, I think it's time we get down to business. What should we do with her? Lucette. What are you talking about now? Delora. You, of course. You've got nowhere to go, right? Lucette. Silence. Thinking to herself. She is right. I think back to the days I spent on the street and shiver. Lucette. Thinking to herself. I will do anything so long as I don't have to go back there. Parfait. The princess can stay at the Marchen with me and the rest of my boarders. Lucette, shocked. I'd almost forgotten what hope felt like. Parfait. But you'll have to work in exchange for a room. I celebrated too soon. Lucette. What? Parfait. Magic has its limitations, just like anything else. Money doesn't appear out of thin air, not even for a fairy. The Marchen doesn't attract many customers, since only the cursed and a few others can enter. I sell my potions here and there, but I have several hungry mouths to feed, and my funds are tight. Lucette. I thought fairies lived in luxury. Parfait. Are you broke? Parfait. Shocked. Starmie said, indeed, it was months before they finally told her the truth, and as we saw in Fritz's route, in Fritz's route, they weren't even the ones to tell her the truth. Yeah, no, they wait way too long in most routes. And I mean, at least in everything but Fritz's route, they actually were the ones to tell her, but like, Fritz's route really emphasizes why it's a problem they waited so long. Delora. Ouch, even the Ice Princess can tell. Lucette. And yet you still take people in? Delora. That's always been how Parfait operates. She's good-natured to a fault. Parfait. I'm told suffocating beneath my debt will be what kills me. Lucette. You know, actually, very quick aside, I really appreciate that they did a whole thing in Rumple's route to how being charitable to a fault can actually be a fault. Like, I appreciate that they, like, discussed how, yes, it's good to be charitable, but don't do it to the total expense of yourself. Because I do think that's also really important to remember, right? Like, you can't help other people if you give up all of yourself to do so. Oh, Starmie, it will be months here in Waltz's route too. Ugh. I mean, that's clearly just their natural progression, I suppose, so. Anyway, Lucette. Why don't you just leave? I assume you make enough to take care of yourself. Parfait. Leave someone who is in need of help? I could never. Well, you say that. Delora. And that, princess, is how goodness works. Lucette, thinking to herself. How goodness works? Parfait. It's not as if I accept freeloaders. All of my boarders help me run the marchen and do errands. Delora. The princess has never worked a day in her life. I doubt she'll be useful. Parfait. If karma can be useful, anyone can. Delora. I have yet to see karma be anything but useless. Lucette. Silence. Parfait. Princess, you're more than welcome to stay if you're willing to help out. Delora. It's the least you can do in exchange for a roof over your head and 3 meals a day. Oh, and shoes. Lucette. Silence. Do I even have a choice? Yeah, she kinda doesn't. I toss and turn in bed, unable to fall asleep. The mattress is hard and the sheets are itchy. Nothing at all like the bed I had in the palace. Lucette. What I would give for my old bed again, for any of the comforts of home. I miss my dolls. Garland. Lady Parfait! Lady Parfait! I sit up immediately. Lucette. Silence. Out loud. What is going on? Okay, Iced Army, fair enough. You say in Rumple's case it was more than just being charitable at your own expense, it was also being charitable at other people's expenses too, since he was being charitable at Bria's expense as well. That's fair, but I do also think, like, I am a big proponent of, like, make sure you're taking care of yourself first before you take care of others. It's like, put on, you know, on the plane, put your own oxygen mask on before you help others with theirs, because, like, you need to make sure that you're functional and doing okay before you can help others. Like, I mean, so it turns out that, you know, Parfait is not actually as good to a fault as they claim, because she, like, has a lot of flaws, actually, but, like, I do agree that she, like, it's good that she's like, okay, I will take people in who need it, but I will have them work for room and board, because that's a good example of, like, if she was just taking in charity cases and just, you know, being a complete financial drain on herself, it would be bad for the people she was helping, too. So, like, in Rumple's route, it's, like, yes, it was bad for Bria, but, like, also he would not have been able to help other people if he kept up the way he was doing, even without Bria. Like, he would have just hit a point where he backed himself into a corner so badly he just couldn't help people anymore, and that's... You can help a lot more people by making sure you're taking care of yourself as well, is I guess what I'm saying. But yes, okay, Tapao, you also make a fair point. His issue wasn't not taking care of himself at all, it was more like assuming the extent he was doing so was enough for him and Bria, but it was not enough for her. Yeah, but, I mean, I do still think that it touched on the issues of sacrificing yourself rather than... Like, I think there's a difference between helping others of your own volition and for no reward, and, like, sacrificing yourselves to help others. Like, yeah, like, it was maybe not enough for him either, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and I mean, it's just, like, I think I've already said it, it's, my opinion is, it's good to help other people, but it's not good to do so at the complete expense of yourself, because then you can help less people, and you know, in real life, there's a lot of times where you are trying, if you try to help someone in a way that is hurting you, you're probably not actually helping them as much as you think you are, because, like, a lot of times that shows. Yeah, no, I think sacrifice was kind of the wrong word. The key to his story is balance, and I absolutely agree, but, like, I'm not saying, like, you can't have any, like, I'm not saying all level of self-sacrifice is bad, I'm just saying I believe that it's really important to make sure you have your own needs taken care of first. Oh yes, also Tapao, you do make an excellent point. A big part of Rumple's route was it's important to communicate with your significant other. That is also an incredibly important message that I think was really good in Rumple's Root. But yeah, anyway, I feel like I've been kind of rambling around my point, but like I do think I have said it as best I can. I believe it is important to make sure you're taking care of yourself first before you take care of others, because you will be much more effective at taking care of others, and you will be able to help many more people if you yourself are doing well. And Ice Army also makes a good point. Not just communicate, but also take your partner seriously. Okay, T'Pau says, there has to be room in the world for the sort of self-sacrifice that is rather final, and his story's lesson skirts around that issue. I don't think that it was... I think that in a lot of ways, self-sacrifice that is rather final, if I'm interpreting what you mean by that correctly, is sort of a different thing than the way in which he was helping people. Like, he was a doctor, so, like, I don't think his story... I think it would have been... I think it would have detracted from that story if he had sacrificed, you know, done it, like, because I assume... Okay. I guess, but, like, I guess I'm just saying, like... I know I have a bit of a bias also, but, like, I think self-sacrifice in a way that is final is, like, a dramatic story beat in a very different sort of way. When we're just talking about the basic level of goodness and helping other people, that's different. Like, I mean, I assume you mean things like self-sacrifice of the sort where, like, Garland rushes in front of the sword, rushes in front of Jurian to protect her from getting stabbed. Is that what you mean by final self-sacrifice? Because that is the sort of thing where I'm like, that is a very different sort of sacrifice. So yes, I'm saying I do think that that's a fundamentally different sort of sacrifice than what I'm talking about here. Like, sacrificing yourself for someone else, I shouldn't have used that term because that has its own unique meaning, and what I actually meant was, like, destroying yourself to help others. Like, sacrificing yourself in, like, you know, noble, honorable, to protect someone else way, sure, but that's, like, a very dramatic sort of storyline that was not really the sort of thing that Rumple's Root was going for. And I think when you're talking, Rumple's Root was going for more the, like, being charitable, like what they're talking about, what they were just talking about here, with Parfait being charitable to a fault. Like, so if we're talking about being charitable, then which is where I'm coming from. So I'm not saying there was never a place in the world for self-sacrifice. I'm saying when you're talking about being good and being charitable and, like, helping people in a broader sense, like as a doctor, or, like, you know, helping out people in need like Parfait is doing, that's the point where if you just totally sacrifice yourself to, like, and again, sacrifice is the wrong word, if you destroy yourself in while trying to help others, you're not actually going to help them. I guess a lot of this comes from, I have seen people, like, try so hard and give up so much to help other people that they just wreck themselves, and then they stop being helpful. Not only do they stop being helpful to the person they were trying to help, they stop being helpful to anyone, and they start needing help themselves, when if they had just done some basic self-care, they wouldn't have run into that. So that's a word I forgot that is the really important thing I'm trying to say, that I keep repeating myself because I feel like maybe I'm not communicating it well, based on the way people were responding. It is self-care. That's what I'm talking about, and I wish I'd remembered that word earlier, because the thing I'm saying is I think self-care is way more important than people give it credit for, and I think you need to make sure you're engaging in self-care first before you help others. That is what I mean. And I think that is a lot less ambiguous and hopefully clarifies my position on this in a way that makes sense, because I think I was just using words that were not quite what I meant, and this is the better way to say it. So yeah, okay, thank you, Tapao. That is what I meant to be saying this whole time, so I think I must have just been communicating that poorly. Because, yeah, no, I regret that I did not think of the term self-care earlier, because that would have shortcutted that entire lengthy attempt to explain myself, because I think most people know the term self-care and will much more clearly understand what I mean when I say it is important not to sacrifice self-care for helping others. That is the sacrifice I meant when I said that. So I think now I have, and I apologize also because I definitely have you know, the very common neurodivergent experience of being afraid of being misunderstood and being stressed out by the idea of being misunderstood, which is the other reason I spent so long circling around that point to make sure to try and, because it was important to me to be understood. But I think I am now understood. Tapao seems to get what I mean. I think my meaning is clearer now, and I will continue on with the story. Alright. I leave my room to investigate. Some of the other Marchen boarders, Waltz, Jurian, and Garland, are sitting on the settee, looking anxious. Lucette. What's happening? Jurian. Sorry, did we wake you? Lucette. No, but the noises Garland was making would have woken the dead. Garland. Jurian and I found an injured man while we were doing our rounds. We brought him here. Lucette. An injured man? Wait, what were you doing outside? It's almost 1 in the morning. Jurian. Nothing you need to worry about. I don't actually totally get why Jurian says that either, because there's a simple answer. We were patrolling. Waltz. Lady Parfait and Annis are tending to the man now. Lucette, thinking to herself. These people, will they just help anyone they find on the streets? What if this man is dangerous? Waltz. Do you think the witches got to him? Jurian. It's possible. We'll have to find out when he wakes up. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go through... Oh, yep. Bye, Tapao. I'm just gonna go up through them meeting Rumpel and, like, you know, getting his character image, and just so that we have covered all of the main 5 potential love interests, and then cut there to pick up again next week. The next day, Parfait reveals that the man only suffered minor head injuries. She says that she expects him to wake soon. I look at the tray of food in my hands. Annis has asked me to bring it up to the stranger's room while she finishes the rest of her cooking. Lucette, thinking to herself, I would never have been asked to do this in the palace. Delora, goodness, what's that poor tray done to you to deserve that look? Lucette, silence. Delora, I must say that it's odd to see the princess doing something nice for someone. Lucette, what do you want? Delora, I have something to ask the man that was brought in last night. Seeing as you're being good enough to deliver breakfast, I thought I'd just tag along with you. Lucette, if you're going, just bring this tray up yourself. Delora, you are not in any position to delegate your duties to me, Miss Lucette. Come on, our guests must be famished. Our guest. Singular, not plural. Seeing no way out, I followed Delora to the spare room that the man had been put in. Man, come in! And there he is. I thought the man would have been old, but to my surprise he looks young, probably in his early 20s. He seems lost in reverie as he stares at a small notebook. Delora. Good morning. Good to see you're awake and breathing. The man looks up at her when she speaks. The instant he sees us, his eyes widen. Man. Silence. Lucette, thinking to herself. Why is he staring at us like that? Man. Am I dead? Lucette. Silence. Delora. What? Man. I'm in heaven! Or maybe... You two are the angels that have fallen out of it? Lucette. Silence. Delora. Silence. I see. Man. What can a humble gentleman like myself do for you lovely ladies? Lucette. Silence. Man. Ah, you could join me on this bed. It's very comfortable and there's plenty of room for the both of you. Delora. I'll follow your lead on this one, princess. Man. Princess? Ah, of course. Such a beautiful lady could only be a princess. Look at the noble way you hold up the tray. Okay, I always remember the correct one for this one because I want to throw the tray at him. Lucette. Can I throw the tray at him? Delora. I'm tempted to let you. Man. Feisty as well. Oh, be still my beating heart. Delora. Huh? Lucette. You! Parfait. Oh, he's awake. Man. Shocked. Another lovely lady has entered my chambers? I don't think my heart can handle the perfection of 3 of you at once. Parfait. Silence. Delora. I think I know how Casanova here got those head injuries. Some lady decided she'd had enough of his rubbish and wanted to punish him. Parfait. Delora, patience. He may not even be in the right state of mind right now. He did take injuries to the head, after all. The man finally stops to look just at me. He narrows his eyes and stares so hard I almost want to slap him. Lucette. What? Man. You're familiar. But no, it's impossible. Aren't you the crown princess? What are you doing here? Lucette. Shocked. Parfait. If he knows, then he's... Delora. Well, he's definitely not a witch or a fairy. Can only mean one thing if he recognized the ice princess. Parfait. What is your name, good sir? Man. Shocked. I would answer any question you ask of me, madam, but... The man looks down at the notebook in his hand. I don't remember. Parfait. Silence. Delora. Amnesia? Man. I know everything about Angèle, and yet I don't know the first thing about myself. Except that I have the Rumpelstiltskin curse. Lucette. Rumpelstiltskin? Is that a fairy tale? Delora. I knew it. He's got the fairy tale curse. Man. Fairy tale curse? Parfait. Do you remember how to break it? Man. Silence. From what I remember, I need to somehow collect 3 memories and get them to appear in this journal as entries. He shows us the notebook he's been holding on to since we entered the room. Man. My first memory is of waking up and holding this. I thought there would be information in here, but it's empty. Parfait. Another victim of the curse. You must be tired. Lucette will leave your breakfast here, and will give you some time to yourself. We'll be outside if you need anything else. Lucette. Silence. Alright. Scene transition, and like I said, that is where I plan to cut it off. So... We will save over this, and that will do it for today. I will, so I know I said I wasn't going to miss any weeks upcoming, and then I totally missed last week, but I think maybe actually this time I will not miss any Mondays for a while. So, as previously mentioned, next week will be the rest of Chapter 1 and all of Chapter 2, and then the week after that we'll be getting into actually Waltz's route, so the actual new content. So look forward to that. And thank you to Pao and Johnny and Ice Starmie. Okay, thank you, Johnny, for lurking. Thank you to Pao and Ice Starmie for hanging around and chatting. I appreciate you very much. And thank you anyone else who might have been lurking or who's watching this later. I appreciate you all very, very much. And with that, I'm going to head out.